Hello Internet, welcome back to Songs of Syx. In the last episode we went through the tutorial. It did not teach us quite as much as I was hoping it would teach us, but we're going to jump in this episode and start ourselves a new colony. So let's do it, baby. Let's click play here. We are going to go to random game, I assume? Oh geez, okay, sure. Small, normal, Crotonian, those are the vegetarians we saw in the last episode. And it says raids, but spoiler alert, the tutorial literally taught me nothing about the military, so you don't know what to do about that. So we're going to click go here, and we're going to hopefully things will work themselves out. When this is over, we up, and the quote is gone. Okay. So it looks like everything is labeled with like, what do you call them? Kind of like province names. Latixa, La Fremen. So we can go literally anywhere. In most games like this, I like to build into mountains. Are you a mountain? You're huge. That's another thing we didn't learn. Oh, there's another settlement over here. Oh, I wonder if we can trade in this game. Oh, there's multiple settlements. Okay, so that's interesting. I wonder if there's penalties for us starting near some of these locations. I would love to build into a mountain. This looks like desert. I don't want desert. Why don't we just come down here? I see there's a town over here, but I think we would be okay. We're kind of equidistant between these two towns. I think this would be okay. There's no trees in the area. That is actually going to be a huge problem. No trees near the mountain, huh? Here's another one. Same thing. It looks like if we go to a mountain, we're going to have to be pretty far from trees. This is kind of mountainy. Very small. But it's close proximity to trees. Why don't we set it up in this area? We can't build on the mountain. And this is kind of a weird province border. So we struggle a little bit here. I think this will be okay. How about that? We're going to go there. I have no idea if this is good, bad, totally neutral. I have no idea how this is going to play out. So we'll see how things shake out. Okay, so I guess this is like our throne room we're setting up immediately here. Oh, and where is the mountain? Where, the mountain just doesn't exist? And there's barely any trees. Are you the mountain? Okay, so I feel like, oh, I bet this is the mountain here? This whole bordering terrain here? I gotta assume is what that is. I don't know. But there's very few trees. And we didn't learn a way to plant trees in the last game. Why don't we just come in here? Kind of in between, but it's so far from the trees. I'm gonna restart. Okay, so I think trying to build into the mountain is a bit of a trap there. I don't think that that's the right decision. So we're just gonna go with kind of land. And what really confused me is once I clicked on an area, it seemed like the main area just did not reflect what we were seeing on this screen here. So I'm a little confused by that, but we will just place down, I think, somewhere forested that's not super close. There's another settlement. I think we will be plenty far away from there. And I'm curious if these farms are being worked by people or not. What is this? Regenerate. Oh, so I could regenerate the whole world. Yeah, why don't we just plop down, preferably somewhere with some water nearby. And I think, yeah, this looks fine. I don't see any other settlement in this sector, so I think we would be okay here. And we'll build near the water. So we'll try that. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Yes, of course. Classic. All right, so let's have a look at the world here. Still a little confused why this looks different than it did on the main map, but okay. I'm not sure what the green squares mean either, or the red squares. I have no idea what that indicates on the map because, again, your tutorial was minimal and you didn't really teach me anything. But I see here we have stone, we have wood. I have no idea what these brown things are. And we have a water source. So we're going to come in here. I think we're going to plop this thing down right here. I think we'll be perfectly fine. All right. So that took an eternity, but we got that sorted out. So we start with some resources. We did not start with vegetables, so it looks like we will have to make some fruit farms instead of vegetable farms, which again is not something the tutorial did. It did vegetables. Gonna build a fruit farm. Again, we're gonna go 8 by 8 because again, that's what the tutorial taught us, and I gotta assume there was a reason for that. So I'm assuming that's an optimal size for this. Plop that down, and what else do we need immediately? Well, probably wood harvesting. So I still don't understand, is there a way to assign automatically harvesting wood service? No. Extraction. Woodcutter. Placed on trees will produce wood. Produces noise. Oh, is it like a machine that cuts? I don't know. Storage. Workers will put the wood. Auxiliaries adds efficiency. Well, I'm just gonna... Is this a full room? So I have to build like a big... We'll make it like a 3 by 3. And we'll add walls because it should... Oh, it doesn't have walls? Well, then I super don't understand. And we can't really fit crates in there. Must not be placed on trees. Okay, we're just going to build this and assume... Nope, have to have storage. So how am I supposed to do that when there are trees in the way? Why don't we cut down the trees, fell trees in this area, and then let's just go with clear all. How about that? Clear all in that area. Okay, so that's a start. So let's get our colony generating here. They're going to build that fruit farm for us. We're probably going to want to build a second fruit farm, in fact, now that I'm actually giving it some thought. So we'll build a second fruit farm, because again, fruit is not going to grow as fast as something like harvesting meat. And we learned in the last episode that this particular race are vegetarians. So we probably can't be hunting for meat really as this particular group. Now, if there was someone nearby, we might harvest meat in an effort to trade low-cost goods with them, but I don't think there is anyone nearby. So we'll go to extraction, woodcutter, and this should all be clear now. So I should be able to build this, and we'll put some crates in there. Item must be reachable from within the room. Oh, I see. So the arrows are where they will stand to interact with those items. I had that backwards in our tutorial. Max amount reached. Oh, so we can only have one storage item. Okay. I mean, that's fine. What is auxiliary? Adds efficiency? It's just like a bench or something. Okay, we'll put one in there. Wait a minute. No, we don't have metal or furniture. Oh. There's no undo button. Remove item. Okay, so we no longer need metal or furniture. Okay. Room must be partially placed on trees. Yeah, but you told me it couldn't overlap trees. So I'm a little annoyed. If I just expand it, it doesn't... Oh, because it erased my storage. Okay, just put this thing down. I don't care. So it looks like the area is where they will gather wood from, and then the storage item is the only thing that can't be placed on trees. So let's further expand this to include like a huge area, right? Because this is where they will harvest from. Is that acceptable? Sure. If they have to clear... God, I hope they don't have to clear the land and like tamp it down like they do for the farms, because that will take forever. I do wish the game was a little bit brighter when it gets to be that flash of nighttime. It makes everything very, very dark and difficult to see. So no one is working on the wood. No, do not reconstruct. Construction progress 0%. So they're focused on the farms right now. Okay. Now, they're over here. Are you going to build... What are you guys doing? You're clearing every single one of these tiles. Okay, so this is wrong. This is wrong. Reconstruct room. Shrink room. I had assumed we would place the base of the room and then place the exterior like this to cover every tree where they will go and harvest. I'm going to assume that's not correct. And we're just going to shrink this down to something very manageable. There are still trees in the area. Insufficient workers. Place more items or expand the area. I'm annoyed because I don't understand what you're doing. See, they're clearing the area. Why is that necessary? I don't understand this. It's just dirt and trees, and you're going to cut down the trees anyway. So I don't really understand why they need to do this. They should just build the furniture and then it should work. I'm baffled by this. So are they only going to cut trees from inside this square? Because that seems really useless. I don't see that as being valuable. It really, in any capacity, I think that that's a huge waste of my effort to build that. All right. We do have 2 fruit farms, thankfully. Unfortunately, it's unclear to me if that will be enough food to support our colony or not. I do know we need to build a warehouse to store our food, which would be infrastructure. We'll build a warehouse, and we do want this to be quite large. We're going to put our farms down here by the water. Why don't we just put it like smack dab in the middle of our colony? Seems like a smart place to put it. We'll make it huge. We need crates. We do need crates, of course. So we'll do this. Oh, and this will, in fact, be an enormous room. Okay, well, let's remove this. And we want walls on it, of course. And we'll build doors. And I think for now, this is fine. The issue I've noticed with the game is that you can't expand rooms without having them kind of return to this blueprint. So I'm not sure how easy it will be to add things to this later. Let's just shrink this. I mean, do we want to shrink it? Let's just make it huge, and we'll bank on finding some way to manually do that later. Now this woodcutter appears to be producing +1 wood. Plus 1, huh? Production rate. Base rate 4, degrades 1. Oh, we need a janitor as well to maintain the buildings so that they don't get destroyed over time. So we're going to build a janitor, which is infrastructure. It is. We'll build just the janitor's hut over here. And again, why are you not putting walls on these structures? Or does that include the wall? It doesn't. It doesn't include the wall. Remove this. Why wouldn't it automatically build the walls? Okay, and it seems to have broken. Okay, so let's come in from this again. Again, early access game, you know, not expecting the world here, just expecting things to be a little bit more clear than they are. So let's just go back to construction. And yeah, you don't seem to be really doing much with wood here. I don't fully understand what you're doing. Does it not cut down the trees? Maybe that's the benefit of this, is that it doesn't use up your resources permanently. Maybe that's the case. Let's expand this. I don't know how to do that. Expand room. Warning, all room progress will be lost and all employees will be fired. That seems really dumb that you can't do that without firing everyone. But let's expand this further so that there are more trees. Maybe that will make it more productive. And we still only need that 1 crate, I believe. Okay, I mean, they have stuff to work on, so we'll get this working. And why don't we mark some trees for harvest? Because I don't fully understand what the work thing, the tree cutter does, because it doesn't seem to be doing what I expect. And we're going to want space to expand here anyway. Should I be keeping trees for the colony, do you think? Like, do they beautify the area? They may. So we'll leave these intact. I think there's one here as well. Okay. And this woodcutter, I just don't get what your deal is. No, don't reconstruct. Okay. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. So are we in summer? We are in day 1 of summer. Fantastic. We are unable to store the fruit, remember, until we get this warehouse up and running. So one of the main things that I'm noticing is lacking is the inability to prioritize work. I can't make them work on the warehouse. I've put too much on their radar, so they're trying to do too many different things, and I can't explicitly command people to do certain jobs. So like if I click this guy, he's an odd jobber. I cannot make him go to this work site. If I right click it, deselects him, and if I left click, it just selects the building. So I don't know how you make them do a specific job. I think you may just not be able to do that. And that lack of control is a bit disappointing. What is this? Determines how many nobles? Okay, I don't care about nobles. I also do not care about my peons. I don't know a single one of their names. They mean nothing to me. Their job is to toil for my entertainment. I just don't know what else to do either because I just have to sit here. The fast time is not as fast as I would have expected. But, okay. I mean, we could talk about some other things. How's it going, Internet? How are you guys doing today? I'm having a not great day. My car, as if you watch my other series, you know I have some car issues. And I'm looking to buy a new car. Or I should say a used car because I'm extremely poor. And I do have a prospect, but yeah, I need a car like today. And I'm just not going to have it. And yeah, the next couple, probably the next like 2 weeks, bare minimum, are going to be absolutely miserable. My car keeps shutting off on me. Seems to shut off every 8 minutes or so. Seems real terrible. If you don't know, I drive for a living, so I need to be out in my car for minimally 3.5 to 5, 6 hours a day. So just a huge bummer. And yeah, just things are not super great in my personal life, but we don't need to expand upon that. Let's just have a look at the world map here. Again, we don't see any other settlements. I wish I knew what the red means because this is marked as red. What is this? Ore deposits. Let's scroll out. Well, why are you marked with a red rectangle though? It doesn't explain that in any capacity, so I have no idea. Ore deposits. But what's the difference between green and maybe green is plants and red is minerals? I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. Where's my settlement? I lost my settlement. Okay. So it looks like they've mainly constructed the workshop. Not workshop, warehouse. Warehouse, of course. And I'm debating if we should build yet another fruit farm because I'm a little concerned we're not going to be bringing in enough food. We, of course, are working at a net loss as they eat the materials that our game came with. We did start with a lot of rations, though. Who are you? Why are you idling? Get back to work. There should be a button I can click to scream at my employees, basically. Insufficient workers available. Let's increase our warehouse people to 1. That way they will start gathering things to bring to our warehouse. Of course, we need to expand our fruit. Are you fruit? So now we have enough storage for our fruit. Definitely need some wood, stone. We are not working meat at the moment, so I think we should just focus on the fruit and whatnot. And I guess we should use up our crates. I don't think there's any penalty to using them all up and then reassigning them later. So we'll just have that set up. And yeah, +2 fruit, +2 fruit. We've used up, I think, 5 or 6 pieces of fruit. No, way more than that. What are you guys doing? Oh, you're storing the fruit in the... Of course. Oh god, that zoom to pee on is not great. So we have 9 fruit. That seems... Okay, 17 fruit. Okay, 24 overall fruit. I'm assuming we started with something like 30 would be my guess. So we're just gonna have that work out. Can't select items in the world. I'm going to build another farm. Just because I feel like a huge percentage of our time should be spent farming. How's the fertility here? We can't see. Is there a way to see fertility? 100%, 83%. Yeah, so this looks good. We'll build another farm down here. Fruit farm. We'll just build it along the water. Why not? For some proper irrigation. Costs 7 fruit to make. How much do you make in a year? Where do I see this? Fruit is a food source, coveted by many. I do have some bananas sitting over there on my bookshelf. I do like me some fruit. Okay. Fertility 89. Farming 1.45. How do I see yearly harvest? I saw it before. Oops. I saw it before where it showed the yearly harvest of a fruit farm. Fruit is a food source. Spoil rate 50% per year. 24 in warehouse. Click to open resource details. Okay. We've produced -9. Okay. We looked at this previously. I don't understand this graph because we don't really know how much is being consumed by our people and how much is being consumed. Okay, construction, spoilage. consumed. Okay. I just wish there was an overall graph that I could see to determine how much food my people are eating on a daily basis. We have 10 citizens. I'm assuming they each eat one portion of food at a time, but I don't know if it's one per day, one, per meal, like where they eat multiple times a day. Okay, food, 0% starving, 0 preferred food. Each race has its own preference in food. If you have a kitchen, subjects will go there and try to find the food. Food ration, 0%. Food days. How long the food in your stockpiles, kitchen, and feast halls will last. +4. Does that mean I have 4 days of food? That cannot be correct. I have so many rations. There's no way that's right. Drink rations. Well, I don't have drink. I don't understand your menus. I don't know what this means. Just like literally a line that says food, 3.05. Am I supposed to know what that means? There's no information here. Stats related to food and hunger, -27 day, 3. What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. And that is where early access games tend to suffer. They fail with the tooltips that are really strictly necessary for the game. So I have no idea how to determine how much food we have. I have absolutely no idea how to determine how many foods are produced by this farm. I just don't know anything about the game, and none of the tooltips appear to really be helping me in that regard. So I am a little annoyed by that. We're going to continue building farms just because I don't fully understand that, and I think the number one thing we need to focus on at the moment is to avoid starvation, because I just don't know how much food we require. So we're going to focus on that. That is our immediate need. They are gathering wood. They have fully cleared the area I had marked for them. Let's add an additional... Oh, we have 3 full employees now harvesting wood. Yeah, so it looks like they don't deplete the trees that are marked inside their area. So that's really good to know. So this is a renewable source of wood instead of consuming all the wood in the area. Which we're still going to do, by the way, because every tree we clear makes room for more buildings. In fact, in that regard, why don't we make space for another farm here? I think we'll put this one on the left side. So let's clear these trees over here, which we do this way. Clear tree. Fell trees. You know what? We could fit one right here. I'm hesitant to clear out too much near the lumber mill because we may want to expand that in the future. But we, for now, can mark these off so we can have space for another farm right here. Nice and close to the warehouse so that we can stockpile our food. Our fruit appears to have been depleted down to 9. So we have depleted a significant amount of our... Oh, because every time we do this, we're using up fruit to build a new farm. I see. So we can harvest wild vegetables. We see all these vegetables. Why don't we do that? Which is harvest wild edibles. Yes. So let's harvest these. This will give us a decent supply of free food, which again, I'm just a little nervous about food, because I'm not familiar with the game yet. We're going to mark all this as stuff to harvest. And that should give us vegetables as well, where we can make a vegetable farm instead of just fruit farms. And I would love to expand this with more crates. But again, we can only edit these buildings by fully disabling them for a short period of time. Seems like a terrible choice. I don't see why I can't just plop down extra crates without going into the expand room menu and undoing all the stuff that we have going for it. So not super thrilled about that. Our fruit supply did not go up. In fact, it went down. So it does not look like these are being harvested on a daily basis. Fertility, tilling, I really wish I understood this. 3.5, base rate +2. Every industry has a base rate. This is expressed in per worker per day. Degrade and room efficiency from furnishings is then applied. The actual produce depends greatly on proximity, layout, work skill, and tools. This is an excellent example of a tooltip that provides absolutely no valuable information. So it says basically it has all these stats, but it in no way explains what they mean or why they are relevant. So I have no idea if this is a daily income. Are we getting 2 fruit per day? Is that what this is saying? 3 fruit per day? I just don't know. I remember in the tutorial it said per year, so I'm just a little confused. I'm sure this is not fun to watch. I'm sure I'm being a little irritable. Sorry, internet. This is just the nature of starting a new game and not understanding what you're doing, and especially when it's an early access game that does not provide you with the information you're looking for. Or very well, it may provide me with all of that information, and it just did not ever explain to me how to find it, because I have no idea. Inspect your knowledge levels and unlock technology. Oh my god, there's tech in this game? Farming? 1% increase to farms. Okay, well that's a little unimpressive. I see no one is harvesting these wild edibles. It must be ripe. Oh no. We're in spring, so these are no longer harvestable. Ah, okay. What about grain? When are you harvestable? Let's just mark some here. Let's pause. And let's just mark some of this as harvestable. Maybe it's a different season. Nope, same season. So that's just not something we can do. Awesome. Delete jobs, remove those. So no wild food coming in. So literally our only source of food at the moment is our fruit farms. And we're out of fruit entirely. So I think they're going to be diving into our rations. I really wish you had explained just a smidge more to me in the tutorial. I don't know why you're not. It says +3. I assumed that would be daily. But we have 0 fruit. So either they're eating the fruit literally the second it comes in the door. Maybe it's only harvested at certain times of year because we're in springtime, so presumably they're not ready for harvest. This does seem like the kind of game that would take something like that into account. I can literally see things growing. So maybe it takes like a month maybe, or a couple days, because the game seems to progress very quickly through seasons just after a couple of days. Maybe it's a couple seasons? I wish I understood you. Daily progress. Okay, let's watch the daily progress. Tending, 60%. Daily progress, 70%. Maybe when it reaches 100, we get a harvest? No. Tending, 75. So, if I had to guess, what I think is happening is there's a certain set daily progress that ticks up as they work on the building. When it reaches 100%, they can't do any more work that day on this location. Each time that they increase their daily progress, they're increasing the tending percent, which does not have a tooltip, even though irrigation does. Which I also don't understand why we don't have irrigation, because we have tiles close to the farm. They're right here. So, okay. But anyway, I think once tending reaches 100%, that is when they will harvest the food. So I'm thinking 4 days minimum to make a harvest is what I'm looking at here. Although this one's at 65%, so maybe it's like 10% or 15% a day. I have absolutely no idea. You didn't explain any of this. But I know we don't have food. Let's build a hunter so we can bring some meat in, even though I think we're vegetarians and it will make people unhappy to eat meat. I think having a renewable source of meat is a necessity for us here. I don't know if distance to animals on the map actually matters. It probably does, but for now, let's just put one over here and assume that they'll figure it out. I have no idea. I don't remember how big it has to be. It has to be 3 interior tiles, 4 interior tiles for the workbench. And why aren't you putting walls on things? Put walls, please. They need walls. Build a workbench. Rotate. Okay. And I don't think we need 2. I guess we could make 2. That would add an extra hunter, I think. We'll build that. Place doorways so that the room can be entered. I already did that. Let's remove this door. Maybe they just can't get in that way. Maybe I have to go in from the side so they can get between the benches. Okay. So we'll build a hunter. It'll bring meat in. I don't really know if they're going to eat that or not because it says they're vegetarians. Again, something that was not really explained. I feel like you could have told me that my people only eat vegetables, or maybe in dire circumstances they will eat additional food sources. I just don't know. You didn't tell me how to do that. We're going to add some more crates here. to expand our building. We'll get that hunter built and bring some meat in, and we'll make a place for meat. I also assume we have to make clothing items at some point. I did see somewhere in here, I saw something about clothing. Because we have the cotton farm. So I assume we have to make clothes for our people. They appear to be clothed, but I don't really know. Okay, so they're harvesting food. Oh, that's a lot of fruit. Plus 42. The amount of goods that have been produced previous year plus 2. I don't understand. Does every tile produce a fruit? Because it's 8 by 8. That'd be 64 tiles. We only got 45 fruit from this one. This one got 53. And it's only 92% tended to. So clearly my theory about that was completely wrong. Cycle harvesting. So we're in the harvest cycle. Is that like, maybe it's like the first day of every season or something? I absolutely have no idea about this. It's just baffling. There's no tooltips. No tooltips. Well, thankfully, that means we're probably not going to starve to death because we just got an influx of about 105 pieces of fruit. I would like to expand one more farm because I think they consume 1 meal per day, it seems like, or 1 item per meal time. Not sure why you're not transporting the fruit to the work because they're building the crates, maybe? Insufficient workers. Oh, because doing this cleared the number of workers, of course. I really want you to get that fruit indoors because I believe it does spoil outside. Although, again, no tooltip indicating that it's spoiling or how long it will last before spoiling, so I have no idea, really. The delivery men are not harvesting any of the fruit. Did I remove fruit? I think I may have. What are you? Fruit, yes. More crates, please. So not only does expanding the building reset the workers, it completely resets your crates, which is just infuriating. I don't think that is necessary at all. Add 1 for leather. I think that's enough for fruit, and we have 2 free. Okay. So hopefully now they will. Thank you, God. So now you're on the tilling process. So it has to get to 100%, I assume, before you could start planting. Then we tend, and once we get up to like 90 to 100% tending, then I assume is when you harvest. I'm just baffled by this system. It's not terribly clear. I'm sure I've said that a million times. Sorry, Internet. Probably not very entertaining to watch me fumble through this. But yeah, this is what you're in for, I guess, if you're interested in playing the game. Again, available on Steam and itch.io if you're interested. You're very interesting. I mean, I've never met a more interesting viewer in my life. So I think we're going to call the episode here. I feel like we did not accomplish a whole lot. Our colony is pretty pathetic at the moment. I do want to lay out some pathing here in the near future, and I would love to get some housing. I don't really understand why we never had to build housing. Maybe we'll look into that in the next episode. For now, though, thanks for bearing with me as I griped about the game. Everybody, I'll be back with more Songs of Syx in the near future. And yeah, thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you in the next video.